I'm a little bit country, and Andy's a little bit rock and roll. And as far as alternative, well, we're not country, not like people think of modern country and top 40 country. We're more like bottom 40 country. I think the rapture will happen before we get a top 40 hit. As far as alternative, I think that just means that no one really knows what we do, but it's something like country.
It sounds a lot more like country music than a lot of things that they call country anymore.
Well, Tin Sleep is a magical place to come from and to have grown up in, a little town of about 300, 400 people. I've known these people my entire life. I dated all the available girls in that town by the time I was 14, and so, and then they all moved away. Good clean water, good streams, ample game.
18-hole golf course.
How many bars?
18-hole golf course, yep, where that nice field used to be. 2 bars, you always have to have 2 bars in every town. Don't matter how small a town is, you gotta have 2 bars because 300 people living together for that long will inevitably divide into factions, and you have to be able to go 2 different bars, so there's places for all political groups and all religions, and you all separate and you can get together later and talk about it.
Mainly, Bighorn Bar is pet friendly. You can bring your dog there.
The Tin Sleep Bar has great pizza. Shaun Kelley here, met him at the No Woodstock Festival up in Tin Sleep, Wyoming. He was playing there with a band called Tom's Swollen Pancreas, and we got together after the festival and was jamming in my backyard, and we thought we should make a band. He comes from Macon, Georgia, and lives down in Laramie right now. Andy, over here, how did we meet? It was a work release program with Rollins State Penitentiary, wasn't it? Yeah, that's so long ago. He's doing good, though. He's rehabilitating and reassimilating to the outside world.
Shaun invited me into the group. We had played together in other ensembles.
We had.
Groups.
I mean, you guys knew each other before this?
Yeah, we didn't tell you. Yeah.
I've known him a lot longer than you.
The person who influenced me most to pursue a career in music was my old boss at the trailer house plant in Casper, because I worked there for a whole winter and kind of come to realize that I couldn't work any harder for any less money being a musician, so that was kind of the time I decided I'm just going to go be a musician. Now, so that's the main influence. And my Uncle Dan played the old-time bluegrass banjo since I was born. I used to hear that banjo when I was laying around in the womb, just wishing I could try to get some sleep, and my uncle would be out there wanging on the banjo. So that was like the first music I ever heard. Yeah, I started on the banjo and realized right away I wasn't any good at it. And so then I took up the guitar and got reasonably proficient with that and decided to try the banjo again. I still ain't any good at it, but it's a lot of fun. Well, Chet Atkins, of course, made me want to start doing the finger-picking style. After I toured with road bands for a long time, I realized I couldn't work well with other musicians, so I wanted to learn a guitar style where you didn't have to have other musicians. So you the Chet Atkins style, you got your bass and your melody at the same time, and it goes, so you get your bass. So I did that for a while, and then I got bored because I realized I do kind of like playing with other musicians. And then so I hired these guys. And what else influenced that style? Roscoe Holcomb, he kind of influenced the banjo picking. It's that high, lonesome, sorrowful sound. And a whole bunch of rock players and a lot of bluegrass players. Comes from all, I've stolen from everybody pretty equal. Perfect performing evening.
Hartsville.
Hartsville was wonderful. Hartsville, Wyoming, oldest incorporated town in Wyoming. We played there and had a wonderful time. Everybody was dancing, having a high old time. The sound was good. We got paid at the end. It's fun playing old-time Wyoming ghost towns and bars and stuff like that a lot. I mean, we're doing a lot of theaters and festivals and stuff like that now too. But the old-time bars are just really fun because you can just relax, have a good time, and wing stuff out. If you was going to resurrect a musician, who would it be?
Charlie Patton. Charlie Patton was a blues player, and no one has heard of him unless you're into old 78s. However, he was the first blues musician to ever be documented playing with his teeth and behind his head. All that stuff Hendrix used to do, Charlie Patton was doing in the 1920s. And he never had any amplification. He was famous, he had this beating. He started the beating on the guitar thing, and he had to fill up a room full of you know, drunk people with just his voice and his guitar, and I mean, you hear his stuff. It all comes from Charlie Patton, blues-wise. You know, he was the first Delta player to have a lot of records out and stuff. So Charlie Patton.
If I could resurrect any musician, I think it would be Jim Morrison, so he could explain to me what his songs mean. Well, just keep working at it real hard, and someday you can live in a van behind Mexican restaurants too.
We're playing at the University of Wyoming. The Student Activities Council is who's helping us out with this, donating the space and the live sound system and the lights and all that stuff.
Yes, we're playing the Yellowstone Ballroom, and as such, we should have a ball.